Hello guys and gals, and this is part 4 of 1 Minute Favorite Fairy Tales by Shari Lewis, and it's illustrated by Benton Mahan. This is, as of course, part 4 and the final part of this book. In the last episode, we read, let's go to here, The Doll in the Grass, Little Red Riding Hood, Rapunzel, The Flying Horse, and The Cat of Catan, which is otherwise known as The Princess and the Pea. Of course, in this story, it was a bean. So anyways, in this one, we'll be reading the rest of these stories, and there are quite a few more of these than in the previous one, but then we'll get this over with. And this is going to start off with The Porridge Pot, which is a German tale. I didn't realize The Princess and the Pea was actually a Swedish tale, but I guess it is. But for this story, this is a German fairy tale. And this one is called The Porridge Pot. Once upon a time, a poor little girl lived with her poor mother in a town that was so poor that people had hardly anything to eat. One day, the poor little girl was on the road begging for food when she met a generous old woman who pitied her and gave her a little iron pot. You need only say to it, "Little pot, boil," and said the old woman, "and it will boil sweet porridge for you." Then say, "Little pot, stop," and it will stop boiling. Thanking the old woman, the little girl took the pot home and said, "Little pot, boil." The pot immediately boiled enough porridge to last for days. "Little pot, stop," she cried, and immediately the pot stopped boiling. A few weeks later, while the girl was away visiting a friend, her mother became angry. "Little pot, boil," she said. The pot obediently began boiling porridge, but the poor lady hadn't heard that she had to command the pot to stop boiling. And so after a while it boiled over. The porridge bubbled onto the kitchen floor. Please hold just a sec. I just realized my battery was about dead. Okay. Sorry about that. The porridge bubbled onto the kitchen floor, it slopped out the door, it rolled down the street and into everyone's house. As she walked home, the little girl saw the great river of porridge. She cried out, "Little pot, stop!" Of course it did. Well, all the townspeople had to eat their way back into their houses, but no one complained, for they weren't hungry again for months. Oh, yeah, we should probably look at these pictures first. There's that, getting the pot, there it is boiling, and there it is, a whole massive bit of porridge everywhere. Okay. Next up, we have 12 Dancing Daughters, which is another German fairy tale. Okay, and we're going to look at this. Okay, looks like there's a shoemaker or something who likes the daughter, and then there's like some kind of party. I don't know. Anyway, says, a great king once had 12 daughters who slept together in one room, which was locked every night when they went to bed. Yet each morning the king was amazed to find that the princess's satin shoes had been worn to pieces during the night. The king offered half his kingdom to anyone who could find out how his daughters wore out their shoes each night. After meeting with the king, a clever young soldier followed them to their room one evening. He was wearing a magic cloak, one that made him invisible, and so he discovered that when the oldest princess jumped up and down on her bed 3 times, it sank into the ground, revealing a staircase. The soldier followed the princesses down the stairs and through a wood to an enchanted castle, where 12 princesses awaited. He watched as the princesses and princes drank from large golden goblets. Then they danced and danced until their shoes were worn through. They danced until morning came and the cock crowed, otherwise known as rooster. The soldier took one of the golden goblets back to the king and told him what he had seen. The king kept his promise and gave the soldier half his kingdom and gave his daughter a new bedroom at the other end of the castle, where there were no trapdoors. That's a good call. Next we have The Nightingale and the Hawk. Origin unknown, but it is attributed to Aesop, as in Aesop's fables. So, here we go. The Nightingale and the Hawk. Uh-oh, looks like the nightingale's in trouble, but then it's okay, so okay. Sitting in its nest on a branch of an old oak tree was a nightingale singing a beautiful song. Suddenly a big hawk swooped down, caught the little bird in its sharp claws, and swiftly carried it away. "What are you going to do with me?" asked the nightingale. "I can see there's no chance of you letting me go. I know I wouldn't if I were you." The hawk was shocked. "Are you saying that if you were me, you'd eat yourself for supper?" Is this some kind of trick?" The nightingale shrugged. "No, you are quick and strong. I am small and weak. You control the skies. I only share a few trees with the squirrels and all their walnuts." "Walnuts," said the hawk. "You know where the squirrels keep their walnuts?" "Of course," said the nightingale. "I go there all the time." "I love walnuts," said the hawk. "I'll tell you what, if I let you go back to your branch, will you sing every time the squirrels how I'll tell you what, if I let you go back to your branch, will you sing every time the squirrels' houses are full of walnuts? Then I could swoop down and gobble them up." "Well, you drive a hard bargain," the nightingale said, "but all right, it's a deal." The hawk let the little bird go and watched him as he flew back to the old oak tree. So whenever you hear the song of a nightingale, look out for a hungry hawk. He probably won't be far away. That was, an Aesop fable. Okay. This one is called The King, the Coin, and the Clown. And this is an Arabian tale. And it looks like we have a picture of a sad king and a happy king. Okay, it says, the king's clown had always made him laugh. So when the clown died, the king was very sad. One day, Stambula, a clown from another kingdom, heard about the sad king and said to him, "Sire, I will make you laugh again. But your silly stunts will remind me of my old clown set, and that will only make me sadder," said the king. Stambula smiled. "At least let me try." Then Stambula stood on his head and spoke. As he did, the words came tumbling out upside down. But the king didn't laugh. "My jester used to do that," said the king, "but I'll give you something for trying." And the king handed Stambula a bag full of 1,000 royal coins. One coin slipped out of the bag and rolled on the floor. Stambula quickly picked it up. The king said, "You're a greedy clown. I gave you 1,000 coins, yet one is so important you have to pick it up." "I didn't pick it up because I was greedy," said Stambula, "but because your face is on both sides of this coin. I couldn't just leave it there, knowing that on one side your face was in the dirt, and on the other your face could be stepped on by the queen." The king laughed at the clown's clever answer and said, "Stay with me, Stambula. You have just made me laugh without thinking of my old clown." So Stambula kept the king rolling with laughter, and the king kept the clown rolling in coins. That was The King, the Coin, and the Clown. An Arabian fairy tale. The skull is, this is an English, I believe British, fairy tale called The Sky is Falling, which we know in America as Chicken Little, I believe. Yep. And that's a really nasty looking fox. I love it. I saw the art here, okay? Okay, and this is about, Henny Penny. One day, as Henny Penny was taking a walk, an acorn fell on her head. "Oh my, I think the sky is falling," she said. "That could be dangerous. I'd better tell the king." She hadn't gone far when she met Chicken Little. "A piece of the sky has fallen on my head," clucked Henny Penny. "I'm going to see the king." "I'll come with you," peeped Chicken Little, and rushed along with her. In a few minutes, they met Ducky Lucky. "The sky's falling," cried Henny Penny. "We're going to see the king." "Wait for me," quacked Ducky Lucky. At the edge of the woods, they met Foxy Loxy, and once again Henny Penny exclaimed, "The sky is falling. Want to come with us to tell the king?" "Certainly," smiled Foxy Loxy, who knew better. "Sounds important." And that's how sly old Fox Loxy got to eat Ducky Lucky and Chicken Little. Ooh, that's kind of dark. Henny Penny realized what was happening to her friends, but she firmly turned her head away and pretended she didn't see. "The sky is falling," she said to herself. "I must see the king." Poor Henny Penny. She wasn't able to recognize the real danger. Do I have to tell you what happened to her? In the end, she never did get to see the king. Oh, that's kind of dark. This is one of the few fairy tales that's actually been really dark. Okay, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Now, this was the first fairy tale that Disney made into a full-length, animated feature, I believe. Anyway, this is another German fairy tale, and this is basically the last one. So let's get this underway. Poor Snow White. Her stepmother was an evil queen who became insanely jealous every time the magic mirror said, "Snow White is prettier than you." Finally, she told the royal huntsman to take Snow White into the deepest part of the woods and kill her. But the huntsman took pity on her, and once in the forest, he told Snow White to run away. Wandering through the forest, lost, tired, and hungry, Snow White came upon a little cottage. Since no one was home, she went inside, ate some food, and lay down and took a nap. The cottage belonged to 7 dwarves who worked in the mines deep in the mountains. When the little men came home, they found Snow White fast asleep. She awakened and told them what had happened. They asked her to stay with them. She said yes. Meanwhile, the queen's mirror told her Snow White was still alive at the dwarf's cottage. The angry queen dipped an apple in poison, dressed so that she looked like an old peddler, and went to the cottage. She tricked Snow White into taking a bite. Poisoned, the girl fell into a very deep sleep. The dwarves, thinking she was dead, placed Snow White in a glass coffin. A prince riding by saw Snow White and was struck by her beauty. He kissed her, and she awakened. Soon they became enchanted with each other and knew that their love would form a perfect circle, which the wicked stepmother could never break to harm Snow White ever again. And do you know what? They were right. So anyways, we have here, there's the magic mirror, and then there's the 7 dwarves. There's the evil queen dressed as a peddler, and then that's the happy ending. But that, I believe, does it, guys and gals. We have read this entire book. It took 4 parts, but that's fine. This has been 1 Minute Favorite Fairy Tales by Shari Lewis, illustrated by Benton Mahan, and that's that. If you like this content, make sure you like and subscribe and ring the bell so you know when I upload. With all that being said, I appreciate any and all support. All that information will be in the description below. And as always, thanks for watching, everyone, and have a great day.